Itaewon Sammy here, just hanging out at the entrance of the club. It's Wednesday night. It's our chill out hookah special Wednesday night. I do a little soiree on Wednesdays. We just opened. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. My guests will be coming around 11 o'clock. Chill out and hang out and enjoy the start of the weekend. With some amazing shisha and cocktails, special prices and stuff like that. So anyway, today's blog I want to talk about how did I become a VIP host? Not Itaewon Sammy. Itaewon Sammy came along a little bit later. But how did I become a VIP host? I mean, being a VIP host is difficult in the easiest of times, but I'm not even Korean. And I'm a VIP host in a Korean club in Korea. How did I do that? Well, I've been asked that so many times. Like people always say, how did I get this job? Well, the easiest way I guess I could say is that I networked. I have been living in Itaewon for 10 years. So I know all of the owners and all of the managers of all of the bars, all of the clubs. And I've been around. So let me take a step back. So, I've been a club kid since I was like 16 years old in Canada. I ran clubs in Canada all over the place. So, yeah, people are coming in the club right now. So what I've been doing, like I started out as a bar back. I started out, what else did I do? I was a DJ, I was a DJ's assistant. I did all those things that were in the club business, right? Then I got into marketing and promotions. And when I was living in Newmarket, and I was running clubs up there in Newmarket, Spotlight and Club 404. And then I moved to the city when I was like 18 or 19, after university. Tokyo. So then I moved to clubs in the city. I was running clubs. What did I do? Not Go-Go's. Copa. Then I ran a club in the northern end of the city. I can't remember what that was. It was a Chinese club, and that's what really made my name was in the liquor industry. Because that bar was making a lot of money. And then I moved to the city and I was doing clubs like, where else was I? Circa. Yeah, that's where I got into it as well. And I was hanging out with all the marketing people. Like Bill from B&A. I knew Matt C. and Ben Ferguson of Factory and Industry nightclub as well. So I got to know the right people, and then I ended up at the government nightclub with Charles Cabot, and I was running things there in their VIP section. But then I got married and moved out of the city, so I kind of took a hiatus from that for a while, and then I focused on my career at Bell Canada. I kind of got out of the scene, but when I divorced the last couple of years, I kind of jumped back into it a little bit. I was 40 years old, 38 years old, but I still knew the right people. And I'm a social, if anybody who knows me, I'm kind of a social person. I really am not afraid to go up and talk to people and have a good time. And I'm also, I have an education. I know how to market to the right people. And that's key to being a good VIP host is, finding the right guests that fit the club. Each club has its own clientele, and the clientele that fits well into the club and adds to the event per se. So anyway, how did I get here in Korea? Well, when I landed in Korea, I didn't know anybody. I mean, I knew a couple of people. I knew two people. But they weren't really club kids. They were just, family. They were, they were, stay at home and have a bottle of wine type of thing. But so I struck out on my own, and I I ended up at a bar that I liked. It was a Canadian bar called Rocky Mountain Tavern. And I got to meet the owners there, and because I'm Canadian, of course, so I got to meet some people there, and I actually connected up with some great Korean people. So I ended up meeting with this one guy, Hanjin, and everybody who's Nichiwan knows Hanjin. He's been around for a while, and he introduced me to the right people. And he did some marketing, and he asked me to join him because I kind of knew a lot of people. Even after about 6 months, I knew a lot of people. And I think the reason why I knew a lot of people is because I was unique. I wasn't a teacher. I wasn't here on vacation. I wasn't military, and I was Canadian. So all of the foreigners who were teachers or military, they all oh, that's Sam, blah, 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 Sammy. So when Hanjin was doing a couple of parties at the old Club Volume and the old Rococo, he asked me to join him, and I did that. So I kind of, set the stage there, the foundation for the other club owners and managers knowing who I was. Also, the fact that I always attended their clubs. And it's kind of, I show up at the club with like 4 or 5 girls. That's a really good way to get noticed, is showing up with like really 4 or 5, 3 or 4 pretty girls. The owners, managers, party planners, they want to know who you are because they want you to keep bringing the girls back. So, it's always fun to do that. I'm not dumb. I know how the business works. So then what happened was my buddy Johnny was running a club in Hongdae, and I used to hang out there all the time. I got to know the owner there as well. And when Johnny left, they asked me to help them out with their clubs, the 2 bars that they had there. So I took that job on, and I was there for about a couple of years. And I got to, and then that's how I started. That was about, I'm going to say 5-6 years ago. That's how I really started as a club promoter or a VIP. I'm not a club promoter, sorry. I'm a VIP host. So I host people and get them to come in. And I'm not paid by the person or paid by the table. I get a salary. That's different than a club promoter. Club promoter gets a cut of the effort that he does. That's the main difference. So then what happened was, after about 2 years there, I wanted to come back to Itaewon because Hongdae is a really young crowd, and my friends were a little bit older, and when they go to Hongdae, they feel out of place and they're not comfortable. So I was wasting my talents there. So an opportunity arrived at House Ming when their marketing guy left, their VIP host left. I knew the owner there, and I had a meeting with him, and I said, listen, you're short somebody, and I have this momentum. I'd like to bring it with me. So I started there, and I was there for about 2 years. And unfortunately, due to matters beyond my control, House Ming started to lose its clientele, and I was unable to continue there. So about a year ago, just after Halloween of last year, I decided to reach out to some other club owners. I was looking at 3 different places, Paradise City in Incheon, Dragon City at Yongsan, and B1. And so I reached out to the people involved there. I know the owner at B1 because I was a customer, and he's also Canadian, one of the 3 owners. And I knew managers and directors at Dragon City and Paradise City. So I was looking, at different options of where could I, as a foreigner who has permanent resident status, leverage my abilities. So the plan was to start, after New Year, because I wanted to finish out the year. Because New Year's and Halloween are big events, and I didn't want to leave halfway through and try to build up a base. I was going to do it slowly. So I left right after New Year, went on vacation, came back, and I started at B1 in February of this year. And I'm bringing in right now about 10% of all of the guests that come into this club. 10% are on my list. So how do I do it? Well, I'm a social media guy, so I'm on Kakao, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube now. And, I've got about 8,000 phone numbers in my phone. I've got about 2,000 or 3,000 Facebook friends. I've got about 8,000 or 9,000 Instagram. And right now, Kakao, oh, jeez, it's in the thousands of how many Kakao friends I have. I can't even count how many. It's upwards of 3,000 or 4,000. YouTube, I just started, so I only have about 110 now. But I'm gonna build that up. It's only been a month and a half. So hopefully, please subscribe. So what I do is I reach out to people. I say, listen, you want to come and have a good time? Let me know. I'll take care of you. Give them, free entry and line-up bypass. And I socialize with these people, with my VIP guests. I make sure they have a fun time. And, I'm networking people. I'm always going to events. So, like Seoul Fashion Week. I'll go there and network and say, oh, you got to come by and check it out. Come out and hang out. I'm always doing events. I'm always inviting people to come out and be my special guest, get a free table or something like that. And bring a bunch of friends. So then what happens is I'm building slowly. Every week after week, I'm adding like 5 more people, 6 more people, 3 more people to my, guest list. So all of these people come out because I'm here and because they have a good time. As you saw in my last video, people are all saying, Itaewon Sammy is the guy you gotta know. I'm very humble. I like the accolades of walking down the street and being said, hey, that's Itaewon Sammy. He's the guy. I'm humble, Sorry, I have an ego and I like it, but I am humble. It's without the club, without the guests, I'm just a guy sitting here at a desk with an empty club, So it's my guests, it's the club, it's the staff, it's the music, the DJs, and the owners. Without them, I'd be nobody, right? Nobody's gonna come out and visit me at a coffee shop. Well, they might, but not really. So that's basically how I did it. I do speak a little Korean, so that helps, and I'm a permanent resident. So, that's the number one most important thing. And I think I'm a pretty nice guy. So if you want to come out and enjoy a fun time, hit me up on Kakao Talk at Itaewon Sammy, on Facebook at Itaewon Sammy, on Instagram at Itaewon Sammy, and of course you're on YouTube. So hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll put you on my guest list. Itaewon Sammy, living life out.